I'm James Cullen, a local San Francisco realtor. I'm excited for you to join me today because today I'm going to share with you one of my favorite neighborhoods that has the restaurants, the walkability, a mix of single-family homes and multi-families, and in general, it's just a fantastic space to live, enjoy, and to have some fun in. That's probably Golden, huh? Golden Gate. Because of the shape of the streets, you have an almost European feel with arched streets. Helps keep it slow. You have a few of these buildings that are very Art Deco, where the design elements are gorgeous and well maintained. And a lot of these are rental units, but you could buy the entire building. And as you can see, it's a nice mix of apartment buildings and single-family homes. Up here is actually one of my favorite single-family home streets in the marina. I'll show you why. Right here we're on a villa. It's actually one of the streets loaded with single family homes, and I'll show you how peaceful it is. But it's one of these sections that you're only 2 blocks away from Chestnut, 2 to 3 blocks over to the Marina Green. So working out, meeting people at restaurants, coffee shops, anything like that, all really close nearby. It's a lovely neighborhood. Always work being done. San Francisco is a large city, and in any given neighborhood, you gotta expect a handful of houses are being updated or renovated. But you can see here on a villa, a lot of great single-family homes. It's a beautiful neighborhood. So when it is this great and this sunny out here, the marina picks up and people are out and about, riding their bikes, eating ice cream, working out, whatever it is. But it's not always sunny, but it does tend to be very sunny here in the marina. I'm going to show you one more block of great homes. This is the 300 block. It's one of the shortest blocks of a villa, because then it cuts out actually at an angle towards Alcatraz. You can see a lot of great single-family homes, and then that end cap of the block is a larger apartment building. Here we are back in the marina, and it's a warmer day, so I'm wearing a polo today, which, by the way, if you're planning on moving or living in San Francisco, we tend to live on the casual side as far as clothing goes. Cities like New York or cities like Chicago tend to dress up a little more, but not out here. Even in finance, a lot of people are tending to wear, well, we're known for our Patagonia and North Face, but one of the main reasons people love living down here in the marina is actually because of the foods and restaurants and all the shopping that you can do right here in the neighborhood. You never have to leave the neighborhood. A lot of people tend not to, but I'll show you. Let's see if it makes sense for you. The Marina Supermarket on the other corner, back on Lion to Visadero. Each of these streets, you're gonna have a handful of restaurants just off of Chestnut as well. Another corner store. Cafe Rivet. They make really good mochas and lattes. You can usually find me after a run Tuesday, Thursdays, hanging out there. There's more of that Art Deco that was popular in the building design. Got a Walgreens halfway down the block. A few furniture stores, and Marine Layer, another Bay Area shop. You do have an Apple store right here as well. Other week, lost an AirPod, came over here, 10 minutes later, back in business, making the calls I needed. You can see a lot of the Art Deco design, such as this Pete's. Started over in Berkeley, another Bay Area brand. You got some clothing boutiques. And what's crazy is Marina's one of them that you just walk another 4 blocks and then you're in Cow Hollow. But you can see a lot of clothing options. You got yourself restaurants. And today, pretty busy for it being 3:30 in the afternoon. It is again a warm day, so neighborhoods like the Marina, especially if you're working from home, you're trying to finish your work by say 2:30, get out there, enjoy, and yeah, really celebrate. One of the reasons we love living down here in the flatlands of the marinas. Celebrate living in the flatland of the marina. So the marina was actually land owned and leased during the 1915 Panama International Expo. And the 2 ladies that owned the land, well, they allowed it, and everything was built out in a matter of weeks, and it was all temporary for a few months. And at the end of it, when they leveled everything, there was a planned development called Marina Greens. And it was going to be a very beautiful with arching streets. And that is what happened on the eastern side of the marina. However, on the western side, the developer who purchased that land actually went forward with creating a grid system, a traditional city layout. Because of the western side being the traditional grid layout. They actually went completely against one of the original premises, which was creating these streets that look straight down. And eventually, for the Golden Gate Bridge, it was placed in a way that was right at the end of a viewpoint where the general public could enjoy, and it's not individual houses that are maximizing this. This is shown best with Beach Street, because Beach Street was going to cut straight through the marina, where you could see the Palace of Fine Arts from the street, whether you were 10 blocks away or 2 blocks away. But instead, the 4 closest blocks actually cut it off completely, and I'll show you here on a map. So this is Scott Street. It's one of the dividing streets of the east versus west. But you can see from this point here, where Prado would continue across, but actually it goes straight into another building. That's because when the west side was built, it was shifted off just a little bit. So we're coming up to Beach Street, which is probably one of the best viewpoints had they continued the neighborhood straight across. But instead, it's actually shifted about a quarter block off, where you actually lose out on a perfect view. So this is Beach Street on the east side, and if you went straight through, you actually have this very beautiful Art Deco building. But because it's shifted half a block, a quarter block, what you would have had is Palace of Fine Arts piece. I'll walk that way. So you can see Palace of Fine Arts at the end, but had we been shifted over a quarter block, it would have been a straight shot down Beach Street where everyone could appreciate the Palace of Fine Arts. There was also a monument, which I'm blanking on what it's called. It's like Monument of Inspiration or Focus, something fun like that. That was right down here on Marina Boulevard, but people kept running into it. So Scott Street now dead ends into the marina and the Marina Greens. Here's that Art Deco building again. Beautiful apartment building, well maintained, and a school that runs between North Point and Beach Street right here. It's a very unique area because a lot of the apartment buildings had a lot of ornamentation, and because of that, these buildings require a little extra work. So even though they're investment buildings, a lot are actually well maintained or preserved to a point. Two of the streets that are at angles for great views, one being Cervantes running straight down to the Golden Gate Bridge that you can see here. And then the other is a villa, which was that great single family home road, but it actually angled and came here where it comes straight down to Alcatraz, creating these immense views for the general public, not just the homeowners that face it directly. So greater news for the general public. But as you can see, well-maintained homes and beautiful buildings, mixture of apartment buildings like that one across the street, these single family homes or even this condo building, which has 2 for sale. This here is the Palace of Fine Arts. Originally built temporarily for that 1915 Expo. Now enjoyed by many, and one of the visual viewpoints throughout San Francisco, so you know where you're at. Huge tourist spot, great photo ops, a lot of engagements. And you'll see, because again, this is on the western side, it was actually built with these main houses capping the end of the street, creating the best views for them. Notable tech billionaires have owned these homes on the end because it's a very desirable neighborhood, but also easy to get in and out of town when needed. Well manicured. Even though they have a great park right there, these owners really appreciate the surroundings of their home. Definitely take care of it. Looks fantastic. They're doing a good job. And here's how it gets its namesake. We're at the further west side, right next to Baker. But there are a few yacht clubs down there on the other end. And then you can see a great pathway for biking, walking. The homes on the north side go anywhere from 6 million for one that needs a little bit of love, up to about 8 million if it's finished and ready to be lived in. A few of these on the western side have been traded a handful of times, like this one. If you look at older photos of the area, there was actually parking on the opposite side. They extended the curb and sidewalk to make more room for all the bikers, runners, walkers. So now there's just parking on one side. Still a great thoroughfare, but very safe because you've got these massive, I mean, this thing's 3 feet by 3 feet, stop signs. And obviously the marina itself, but you can see just going half a block in, very peaceful, great views. There's a lot of pride and joy here in the neighborhood. Two different houses here. Another home for sale on the boulevard. Give you an idea of what your view could be. Golden Gate Bridge, Marin Headlands, looking out to Tiburon, Angel Island, and then Alcatraz is actually tucked away back there behind that next yacht club. branch library, designed by the same architect that did the Marina Safeway. Very mid-century in style. But it's right here at the edge of the park, Moscone, which is where kickball, softball, and a lot of fun activities happen. As you know, on this channel, I don't film kids, so here we go. We got an empty park. And then there's another one at the far end there, made for a little bit smaller kids. Fun little bike track in there. But this is kind of what you can expect for the Marina neighborhood. There is a small basketball court indoors here at the Moscone Recreation Center. Beyond that, you got a message board. Some updates, what's happening here in the neighborhood. On this back side, you've got 4 fields that overlap. And again, especially evening in the neighborhood, kickball, softball, a few other leagues. Over there you can see there's tennis courts, basketball courts. There's even some batting cages and some golf hitting nets back that way. And then the far end, you also have another set of basketball and tennis courts. So there are a lot of reasons people might want to call the marina home, but these are just a handful of those reasons. And ease of accessibility, it's a flat, walkable neighborhood, easy to get whatever you want. You're gonna get to know your neighbors because it is such a small community in the middle of the city. And it's one of these spots that people want to come and visit from across the city. I know a lot of marina friends won't even leave the marina. They get so settled in and stuck here because it really does have almost everything you'd like. But with that, of course, comes the cost. The cost to live here is on the higher side. End of last year, price per square foot, the marina was the most expensive neighborhood over some of the old established neighborhoods like Forest Hill and St. Francis Wood. So if you're curious about what it's like to actually tour here in the marina or nearby, or maybe you've decided after watching this that you do want to live here in the marina, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm happy to help you with those next steps and really give you a sense of where you might prefer to live, what the commute times to work would be, and those expectations of, well, what you're going to need as far as budget to make sure you win the home you want. I'm James Cullen, a local San Francisco realtor. Do not hesitate to reach out with questions big or small.